Hey, welcome back to another episode of Hear Me When I Say. I'm your boo, Lady T, talking all things telecommunicating. And I am coming to you with just a couple of questions on my mind. So if you have the answer, feel free to drop them in the comment box below. Please share this with any and everyone who you feel may need to hear this or may have an answer to these questions that I'm going to ask you. And I just pray that this message finds you well, that whoever hears this message, it wasn't by accident, it wasn't by happenstance, you was meant to hear it. It's either for you or it's for somebody that you know, whether it's a family, a friend, or a co-worker, okay? So, like this video and subscribe, follow, and once again, share this, and comment, please comment, because I'm asking questions. I need the answers. And if I had the answers, probably wouldn't be asking the questions, you know? But I was sitting here thinking about this past week, how we had the tornado warning and how it was just flooding, all the rain was coming by, and a lot of people lost power. And we got calls from a lot of elderly people who live at home on oxygen machines, and their machines were out because the power was out. Some of them had backup batteries, but even while I was on the phone with a couple of them, the batteries went out. And you could hear the beeping, and you could hear the family members wheezing for air. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, we're coming as fast as we can, you know, hold on. It's not really much I can say except for just dispatch as quick as possible. Update the EMTs of the situation of what I'm hearing and what I'm being told so that they can prepare for what they're about to walk into. And I think about my fellow first responders. We're so busy showing up for them and what they need when their lights go out. But what happens when we clock out of work? We hop off of our apparatuses and we get out of our company vehicles into our personal vehicles, and we pull up to our house with no lights, where our refrigerator is off. When we work, you know, our 24, 48-hour shifts, and then we're just too exhausted, but yet laundry still needs to be done and uniforms need to be cleaned all over again to do the next set of shifts that's coming up in just 1 or 2 days. And I wonder how many of us are suffering in silence. How many of us are feeling the heaviness of depression or feeling the heaviness of sadness and grief? Just how many of us? And I mean, you know how they say if you see something, say something. But if they don't seem to be abnormal, they don't seem to be, you know, detrimentally ill, then how can we say something? But even if we do see something with someone that we don't really have a rapport with, what do you say to that person? How do you approach them? In what way? If you're someone who is sad, who could really use a positive uplift, a check-in every once in a while, say something to somebody. You know, sometimes a stranger ends up being your best friend. But I just realized that we just passed the holidays and a lot of people are in debt from going Christmas shopping. I personally am grieving a little bit, because I found out on Christmas morning that a really, really close, dear friend of mine passed away. And I had to go to the funeral before the new year. So it was really awkward and hard to close out my year on that type of a note and still get ready to, you know, come to work and show up and serve the community. And I just found out a college friend of mine passed away. So that's very unfortunate to know my peers are passing away right around me, and I'm definitely not old. I'm not in my 80s or 90s or almost 100, you know. So I still have a lot of long life to live, Lord willing. And to know a lot of youth are leaving us, and a lot of my peers have lost one, if not both, of their parents already, and we're not even tapping 50, we're not even tapping 60, and we're losing our family members, our parents. It's like, wow, what's really going on out here? So with us adults, late adult, middle-aged adults, what's the best solution to showing up for one another? What's the best solution for reaching out for one another? I don't have all the answers, but every little bit of advice would be great, and I would really appreciate it if somebody could jump in. So I just want you to be sensitive to the dispatchers that are going home to abusive relationship. I know a dispatcher who I don't know her, but she worked in my call center, and prior to me getting hired, I was made aware that she was just murdered by her spouse. So she was coming to work, I don't even know for how long, and I think some of the coworkers knew she was being physically abused, and she still went home every night to that situation until that one night she went home was her last time ever leaving that house alive. And it's like, what do you do with that? Who was her 911? Who was there who could have potentially rescued her? I get it. There are some DV situations, domestic violence situations, where you'll intervene and you'll rescue the man from the female, or you'll rescue the female from the man, but then they go right back to them again. You can only do but so much. But there are a few who you actually can intervene and save them, and they want to be saved. They just don't know how to go about getting saved from this person without them thinking that person can still come find them, or still come access them, or access family close to them, access the children. And it's like, what do you do with situations like that? Law enforcement can't get it all. Social services can't get it all. And I'm not trying to be a vigilante out here in the streets, but at the same time, all it takes is one person to sometimes make a difference in that other person's life, whether it's just giving them a hug, whether it's just letting them know that and you will make yourself available if they should ever want to utilize your availability. It's so many subtle things that can be done. It doesn't always have to be major actions. I just want to know from other first responders, what are some of these things we can do to better serve you if you are one of those people who are suffering in silence? What if you are one of these dispatchers and telecommunicators and first responders that don't have support system, don't have friends, don't have family? You just relocated to a new state and you really need a babysitter. Or maybe your shift is so strenuous that you really could use somebody to help you with your laundry services. Like if you leave your bag on a porch and somebody just takes it and return it, and everything's cleaned, everything is returned how you gave it, and it really just made your schedule and your life go that much smoother. What about someone who, because we live a sedentary life, sitting hours on hours on hours, so you sit driving, you sit all day at work, you sit driving home, and like me, I'm in school, so now I'm sitting in class, but when I come home, I still have to sit to do work. So the only time my body is elongated is if I'm intentional about exercising or if I'm asleep. With that being said, what is your diet life looking like? When do you have time to cook? When do you have time to go grocery shopping? What money do you have to really spend on getting quality vegetables, fruits, and being creative? Having the mental capacity to think of creative, healthy meals that you prefer, especially if you have allergies and all the things, which limits your options even more. I just think about all these things, and I don't know what will be an effective way to put something together to show up for them and to reach out to them and to serve them, to help create a better work-life balance for them. Because I don't want "I quit, I'm over this, I'm done" to be the answer. of serving your community, because your voice could be the voice that calms that anxious caller. Your voice could be the voice to get them to follow your instructions to safety or to resuscitation of someone's life. And because you were overwhelmed with having to do house chores, because you were overwhelmed with not having a babysitter, because you were overwhelmed with always hearing everyone else's voice, but feeling like no one's hearing your voice, I hear you. I see you. I am very much well aware that you exist in this world. You exist in this country, because you could be somewhere else in Zimbabwe, Kenya, Nigeria, Australia, Europe. I haven't traveled from the U.S. yet, so I don't really know too many places. But drop where you're from down below for sure. And like I said, we're all humans. We all need clothes. We all need food. We all need shelter. We all need love. We all need to be heard. We all need to be seen. We all want to be seen and loved and appreciated. And so what would be some solutions? What would be some recommendations, some advice to any of these needs that need to be met amongst my first responders and telecommunicators who have strenuous lives? And we're so busy showing up for the community, showing up for our job, the company, because we still got to meet their expectations. And then we still have to show up for family and friends, because sometimes friends don't understand what we go through, and they still want to hang and kick it and think you changed when you just don't show up on the scene anymore. And then where is room for you to show up for you? And then exactly how do you show up for yourself? Sleep is needed. It's appreciated. But that is not the only way you can show up for yourself. Okay? So I just want you guys to chime in. I want to have the hard conversations in a safe space, in a healthy space, in a healthy way. And I want to learn how to serve my fellow telecommunicators. I want to be able to help you all with your mental health, with your spiritual health, with your physical health, with your emotional health. And I want to help create a space for you all to have a healthy work-life balance. So if you have any answers, if you have any advice, please drop it in a comment below. Share this to all telecommunicators around the world. And let's join in. Let's have the conversation, and let's see what we can all do together. Taking one emergency at a time, one conversation at a time, one prayer at a time. I'm your boo, Lady T, talking all things telecommunicating. Till next time.